Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as it is remaining fairly mild but fairly unsettled throughout much of this upcoming working week. However, as we will see in the longer range, as we head towards Friday and Saturday, things are going to be turning quite a bit colder. It does look like we're going to see an Atlantic ridge building and northerly winds moving in for a time. Now, I must emphasise, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything too major in terms of cold weather, but definitely looks good. Few degrees below average, maybe as much as 5 degrees below average. Wintry showers could be a possibility further northwards, and it does look like it could hang around for a good number of days, these colder air masses, and it does look fairly locked in at the moment. Not too much model wobbling at the moment. Majority of runs and majority of ensemble members as well are showing this colder pattern as we head towards the end of the working week into next weekend. So yes, milder, wetter for the time being, but then turning colder as we head into the final week or so of March. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see at the moment we don't have too much precipitation around, a few showers here or there, and a few of them heavy further northwards, but we did see some quite heavy rain overnight last night into the morning, and you see that is now all cleared out into the North Sea. But this, of course, is a temporary lull. We will be seeing more precipitation moving in over the next couple of days. And it has been pretty mild today, potentially very mild in some areas. Temperatures up towards that 16-17 degree range, so a couple of degrees lower than what we'd start to classify as getting towards warm territory. And of course, if we had seen some more clear sunshine today, then we could have seen those temperatures creep up a little bit higher. But you can see where they have been highest, generally sort of eastern England, heading up into the northeast, perhaps being aided by the Föhn effects there, where the air rises over the mountains, descends and warms up. But we will have to continue to see what those temperatures do over the coming days, as we are going to see similar conditions with mid-teens being reached. If you look over on the latest UKV, you can see over the course of the rest of this evening, still some showers moving in, but nothing too crazy. As we head into tomorrow, for most it's going to be a relatively dry day, but look out to the west. Heavy rain starting to move in for the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland once again, and it is slowly moving eastwards and could give some quite heavy rain overnight further eastwards as well. Again, it does look like it's going to break apart as it does move in, but for the majority, we are going to see some rainfall overnight Monday into Tuesday. And then as we head into Tuesday, it's a day of showers, but quite a lot of thick cloud. And then as we again head into the afternoon and evening, more rain moving through. So it looks, at least initially, majority of the rainfall we're going to see in the first couple of days of this working week is going to fall overnight for most areas, but then that rain into Wednesday could linger through the afternoon into the evening before disintegrating away. And then another weather front approaching for Thursday, but look, it's coming in from the northwest, showing that change in the wind direction starting to arrive, the air starting to more veer to a northerly. Now, this isn't the weather front that's bringing in the cold air, but it is bringing in chilly air, and then as we head into the weekend, the properly cold air does start to arrive. But you can see showers moving in. You can see those showers get quite heavy, quite widespread, as you can see much fresher polar maritime air mass moving in. But the real cold air, -5 to -8 degrees, which is what we're expecting, is still out well to our north, arriving perhaps for Saturday and Sunday. Now, if you look at the max temperature, you can see this afternoon, mid-teens quite widely, maybe as high as around 16-17 degrees in a few areas. And as we get into tomorrow, again, we could see those temperatures in the mid-teens, maybe not quite as high, but still, again, 14-15 degrees. Into Tuesday, overnight temperatures not dropping much below double digits in some areas, and again, temperatures could get up to 14, 15 or 16 degrees. And then into Wednesday, still mild in the southeast, but further northwards and westwards, fresher air is starting to move in, so it does cool it down quite significantly there. And then as we head into Thursday, again, temperatures are quite a bit lower, as we do see fresher air moving in behind that weather front. And then as we finally head into Friday, turning a lot cooler further northwards and westwards, only mid to high single digits, maybe just about double digits in the southeast, but it is, as I said, going to be turning much cooler as we head into the weekend. That's really shown on the ensemble, so do check that out towards the end of the video. There is a massive temperature drop when we do see a proper cold front moving through towards the weekend. Now, if you go over to the GFS, we'll be able to see the evolution of this on the larger scale. Again, you see westerly winds over the coming days, actually an extension of high pressure potentially later this week, which could allow temporarily dry conditions. But you see initially Friday, northwesterly wind, but it's really when this low clears into Europe, we do see a direct northerly. Now again, the Atlantic ridge isn't massive, so the air isn't going to be absolutely bitterly cold, but you see the -5 isotherm moves in for all, higher pressure built in, so likely to see frost developing with this. The -5 isotherm hangs around for a good few days, all the way till next Wednesday, Thursday, for eventually we start to see some milder air moving back in, but staying chillier further northwards. So you see, even though it's not any record-breaking cold spell or anything too major, it could hang around for a good 3, 4, 5 days, giving generally chilly and below average temperatures. You see that on the temperature deviation. Initially pretty potent northerly moving in around about 6 to 8 degrees below average, and then staying a good few degrees below average for a number of days before slowly clearing. Now, do check out the latest GM. Again, it's fairly similar. Southwesterly winds over the next couple of days. The winds veer to a northwesterly by Friday, and then to a more of a direct northerly by the weekend. We stay with those cooler conditions into early next week. But you can see the GM does push through slightly milder air a little bit faster, maybe next Tuesday, Wednesday, but still staying around average or below average there, generally with chillier air masses around. And then finally, if we compare to the ECMWF, it's only just coming out, so unfortunately we can't have a look beyond day 7, but it's a similar story out towards day 7. Northerly wind pushing in, that's flattening, but still staying in those cold air masses as we've got more chilly polar maritime air coming in behind. So you can see again, no crazy cold spell coming in, but definitely something it's going to be a shock to the system, and it is potentially going to bring back frosts and just generally quite cold conditions. Look at that, upper air temperatures widely down towards -8, even down to -9, potentially flirting with the North Sea coast there. You can see this in a lot of detail by looking at the latest ensembles. Look at that, milder than average for the next 3, 4, 5 days. And we see this massive plunge as we head towards next Friday and Saturday from around 6 or 7 degrees at 850 HPA down towards -5. As you can see, it's only 5 degrees below average. It's nothing record-breaking at all, and it stays chilly for some runs until the end of March into early April. Staying unsettled as well, so we'll likely still see showers. Again, there could be a wintry flavour to them. You can see here from the GFS ensembles, there are very minimal snow spikes for London. We're not expecting anything at all, but there could be a few wintry flakes and some of the heavier showers, because if you look at the dew points, they are dropping down close to freezing or slightly below freezing at times. And the 2-metre temperatures, look at that, dropping away quite considerably. You see by Friday, still low teens, maybe 11 or 12. And by Saturday and Sunday, we're not looking much above 7 to 9 degrees. And again, London will be one of the mildest areas in the UK in this spell. And of course, the feel-like temperature with that fresh northerly wind will be making it feel a good 3 or 4 degrees cooler than this. And if we do compare to the ECMWF run, of course, we cannot have a look at the midday run, but similar, you can see this big drop early next week, recovering quite a bit faster than the GFS, but again, that could just be down to the fact that this run is 12 hours old, and the GFS run is latest data, so perhaps the ECMWF run coming out in the next couple of hours will update that with a stronger signal for that colder conditions prevailing a little bit longer than it is at the moment. But regardless, still shows colder conditions for 2 or 3 days. They're just not the 4 or 5 that the runs are now starting to show this afternoon. Have to keep a very close eye on it, of course. We're not expecting, as I said, anything major from it other than the much cooler conditions in general, feeling colder, potentially overnight frosts, but again, we'll have to look at that in more detail near the time, as that does depend on cloud amounts, precipitation amounts at this time of year, because we now have passed the spring equinox, which means that daylight hours do outnumber nighttime, so it does mean it's increasingly harder to see frosts, especially when we don't have anything ridiculously cold in terms of those upper air temperatures. So we'll have to look at that nearer the time, but that's probably the greatest risk at this stage, a bit of ice and frost, and of course there is the small risk of some wintriness, but we'll again have to see that nearer the time. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.